All right, well, shall we start the show?
Welcome back to On the Air Tonight, the only free-to-air podcast reviewing free-to-air content.
Let's go.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Jake.
And this feels weird because I'm kicking off the show.
I was thinking about that the other week. I'm always the one to intro. We kind of take sharing points on the outro.
Outro, that can go either way.
Yeah, usually we just beat around the bush. We need someone to kick it off. But that was clean, tight.
It's because I'll usually be the one that needs to be dragged up. Like I'll be a little bit flat on my fourth coffee and you're like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Work hard, play hard, let's go.
I'm smashing wine glasses.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it took so long for us to get the intro clean and right, because I was doing it the entire time. And then your first take is just perfection. Just
like, we just needed Tom to do
it's
it.
a clean 10 land and rest.
Stick it.
Yep, sticked it.
Stuck it.
Stuck it. Sticked it?
Sticked it. No, we sticked it. I sticked it.
Yep, you stack it.
I stack it. Should watch Stack Cup.
Oh.
Stack-cometra. Stack Cup-cometra.
We'll save that for next week, maybe.
How you going?
I'm doing really well. We're recording this on a lovely Sunday afternoon where we kind of had a big Friday night, but yeah, we both had relatively quiet weekends. So I'm feeling good, ready to go with a cup of Joe.
Good. Well, you had one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I jothed.
You partook in the joth.
Past tense Joe.
You joeyed.
I Josephied myself.
Yes. I'm good.
How are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm good.
You can ask me, you rude bastard.
Don't worry about me. I'm fine. Don't check in on your mates.
I know. I know you're good, mate.
I know you're sweet. Same as you. We both had the same large Friday night, but then you're right. It's been low key ever since.
It has. Yep.
It's good to come into the studio for the first time in a while and just be. I'm not full of beans and I'm not flat. You know, you guys are going to get a
level.
You're going to get a level. We're not performing. We're not here to perform for you.
We're not thespians
for anyone else. This is for us. It's for you. It's for our OTAT otters, but it's ultimately for us. And I'm just going to be me, dude.
We are a couple of clowns, but we're not here to honk noses or squirt water out of our daisy lapels.
Or our orify.
We're not crying, that's for sure.
We are monkeys, but we're not dancing monkeys. We caught up with our good friend Dan of Trade Mutt fame.
Absolutely. Shout out to the Trade Mutt boys, or particularly Dan, who we had drinks with on Friday night. Rossi was coming back from Central Australia.
Yeah, had a bit of a road trip. So Dan was like, me partner in crime's gone.
I need to drink.
Where's some boys to drink with? We were like, we got you sorted.
Yep.
Don't worry, Daniel.
Lovely bloke. Thanks again for letting us just be absolute squatters in your studio, mate.
The only reason the audio sounds this good and you can see our faces is that man over there. So we had a nice night. We had drinks at Brewski. We then ventured on to Lefties of Apple Whiskey fame.
We did, yep.
Had many an apple whiskey.
They went down a little bit. They go down way too easy.
They're so nice. I saw them make them. Like when I went to the bar and actually ordered, I did get a round. Everyone, don't stress. I got a round for us.
Everyone else got two, but Tom got one. Well done.
Didn't realize we were counting. Okay.
My bank account was. I think I spent $200 on the night.
Don't. Did you?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I was close to that. And just the way they were made, I was like, God, they look nice. Like real fruit.
Was it the first time you've seen them made?
Yeah, I've always seen them like just come out of the bartenders, wherever they make the drinks.
Yeah.
Behind the bar.
If you've never been there, Lefty's Old Time Music Hall on Caxton Street. They usually have really good live music, I should say. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But their main cornerstone selling point is, apart from their sconces, is
what's that again? We had a big sconce point the other night.
Sconce is like a taxidermified or taxidermied animal.
Sconce.
Yeah, it's
multiple sconce.
Yeah, if you think like a deer head that's got like mounted on like a nice piece of wood and put on the wall, that's a sconce.
Yeah, hunter's trophy.
Yeah,
a sconce. Lefties has a few of those.
They got a shitload. Yeah.
And they had a live band, but the band, while it was live, it didn't exactly play any songs that anyone knew.
No.
They were a cover band. While they were a cover band, they did maybe one cover that we knew.
They did Don't Let Me Down by the Beatles.
Great song.
Yeah.
Great song. And when they sung it, I was out of my chair because we're in that spot at Lefties where like you see us as soon as you walk in.
Yeah.
You see the people at that table.
The light's right on
the
top
light's
of you.
right on you, and you're above the staircase. Like,
And you're not behind the band. You're like on par, side by side with the band, but a level above them.
you're almost bookending the balcony.
Yeah.
You know, you're like you're a pillar of Lefties. It's like it's about you at that point. The place is about you. They could have had us standing up the whole night, and we would have drawn more people in if they played songs that we knew.
Yeah, they should
Don't
have
let me down. I was out of my chair.
They should have taken requests, but
I remember just pointing. I was just pointing into the crowd, like down at the people down there, like they were there for
like
me.
you made this happen. Like you're welcome.
And you're like, who are you pointing at, dude? I was like, just the back of the room.
Just people having a good time, man.
The trick is if you point to the back of the room, everyone down there looking at you is like, oh, he's pointing at someone behind me.
Yeah. Okay. It's like,
It's like, oh, he knows someone back there, I guess, behind me.
hey, everyone does one of these.
The guy at the back of the room is like, I don't know him, and there's no one behind me.
Stop pointing at me.
Bro, we haven't met.
But yeah, it's a lovely place. They do have cover bands from time to time, but their main selling point is the whiskey apples, which they freshly squeeze there. It's not from a blender. It's not some Golden Circle refined sugar bullshit. It's
Real life.
A big crate of Granny Smiths. They put it in a manual hand juicer and just squeeze that shit down.
Yep.
Right into a shot of or a nip of
Whiskey.
Johnny Walker Red.
Yeah.
Which you know all about.
I do know my Johnny Walker Red now. Now that I've been educated.
Yes.
So Lefties is good. Another place you can go, which I once upon a time would have raved about, Blutes
Oh yeah.
in the city.
Was this what you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so I didn't have enough information to tell this story on the last episode.
Or
of the
brain
podcast.
cells.
Yeah, or brain cells. Recovered a few now. We went there so not this weekend just gone, but the weekend before.
Yeah.
Bar Pacino, long lunch, Triple M, best sales team in the country. Shout out Triple M.
Weird flex, but
Put on through work. Shout out the B105 Triple M crew.
yeah, you had a massive Friday. It turned from a boozy lunch into a boozy evening.
Yeah, so Bar Pacino, like cocktail class there, and then obviously it's a work thing, so people taper off. Other people have lives. They're not just raging alcoholics who are like, yeah, kick on. So the few people who were left, we ended up at Blutes. They've replaced Blutes, so Blutes Karaoke Bar in the Valley.
On Brunswick Street.
On Brunswick Street, near Fortitude Music Hall, almost opposite it.
Yeah, it's like next door to it.
Yeah, next door to Black Bear as well.
One door down.
Yeah. Otherwise, great venue. But they've replaced the person. They used to have a woman there with the DJ booth with the microphones. You text your request into a number. She'd put it on. And there wasn't a song that they didn't have.
Yeah.
Within reason.
It was a good system.
You couldn't put on like Crazy Frog because it doesn't have lyrics. But they had a huge selection of songs.
You'd have to grease some palms to hear some Crazy Frog going.
Yeah, you'd be handing 50s over. But I mean...
And also ruining everyone's night.
Yeah. Point is, that lady's gone and she's been replaced by a tablet.
Job's been automated? Automatized?
Yeah, well...
Automated?
Yeah, automated.
Yeah, that's the word.
By the automation industry.
Got it on the third try.
It's just a tablet on the wall. It's just a big iPad jukebox. And it doesn't have fucking anything. It doesn't have Snoop Dogg Drop It Like It's Hot. Huge problem.
Does it have any Black Eyed Peas is the question.
I didn't think of My Humps. Hey. But probably not. Like it's fair to say that it doesn't. I can't confirm that it doesn't, but probably not.
That's a huge deterrent. Not only have you poor Cheryl's lost her job as the residential DJ, but you replace it with some bot that only knows some basic ones and zeros. There's
thoughts over bots.
Come on.
Yeah. I need my thought in the corner putting on fucking Snoop Dogg Drop It Like It's Hot.
Yeah, I'm not going to get a nonchalant like nod of the head from a bot.
Yeah, you want that experience. You want to like go up and be like, "Hey, I know I just sung 4 songs in a row, but like, can I?" And you want to be rejected. Like, you don't get any of that from the iPad on the wall.
I want them to pretend like they heard me and just go and go back to DJing rather than a bot just like not taking your request.
We do not have, or yes, we do have. Point is, they didn't have anything on there, so this was just after Ando's brush with fame. Missy Higgins podcast just came out, so I've been on the Higgins train all week.
Oh, you wanted some,
So
ska.
like, what else am I going to sing? No, the special too.
Okay.
So
Oh, you really wanted to bring the mood down.
Yeah, everyone was like in a great mood. And I put on the special too. And again, I don't remember a whole lot of this, but I was told this through a third party who was there on the night, who saw everything. And he was like, shout out Jace. Jace told me this. He was
Fan
like,
of the show.
You big fan of the show, Jace. He was like, you put on the special too and like drew a crowd just from the selection. People came.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, people were like, oh, fuck yeah, I remember this. And then he was like, do you remember getting booed off stage seeing the special too?
Oh. Because I forget it's a karaoke bar, hey?
It's a karaoke bar.
Yeah.
So I'm singing karaoke, I'm singing the special too, and there's a crowd at my feet, and I'm like singing the only way I know how, which is basically Creed.
Yeah.
You know, hurrah.
Belting it out, out of tune, but with a lot of gusto.
Yeah, like putting all of your energy into stage presence and filling the stage, and none into nailing a note.
Give us some Missy Creed Higgins.
It would have been, again, I don't remember, but I know me, and I've seen videos of me doing karaoke, and it would have been like, because we were the special tour.
Oh, true. Really hamming up that Pearl Jam accentuation.
Yeah, just like singing in vowels.
Yeah.
You know, A-E-I-O-U. It would have been that. And
there's some fucking chewing tobacco on your bottom lip.
Yeah.
We are the special tour.
It's like, where's my spit bucket? So, like, everyone hated it, and then
you got booed off stage.
Basically booed off stage. I remember, this I do remember, one girl was in the front row, and she was like, you're doing great, but can I come up and help you? Like, and I was just like, not really. And then
you get your own song?
Yeah, I was like, I waited an hour for this. Like, no matter how much I'm butchering it, you can sing your song great afterwards. That's what I said in my head. In reality, she got on stage with me.
Oh no!
Got on stage.
This is a stranger.
Stranger. I didn't know her, and took the mic. I gave her a line and was holding onto the mic, and then she kind of just grabbed it and started singing. And then I was like, all right, that's fine. Like, bit of a duet. Give it back now.
Did she give it back? Or?
No. So then she held onto it for another 4 lines, and then I'm just like, what are we doing here? Everyone's pissed off at me in the crowd, and this girl's just taking the mic.
This is completely taking the limelight. Did she get a cheer when she went up? Or I mean, you can't remember.
I can't speak for it. I mean, it was. I don't think anyone was left in the crowd at that point. I think it had thinned out.
I don't care how bad someone is, like what range of talent they have, or how well they are at performing, how awkward they are on stage. Unless they go unless a friend's like, "Do you want to come up?" and they're like, "Yeah, come up."
Yeah.
It's just karaoke etiquette.
You wait to be invited.
Let the person finish their track. I've been waiting, especially if it's like a packed karaoke bar where you do wait an hour for your song.
Yeah.
Let me perform it, okay?
Yep. And let them bomb. If they're bombing, let them bomb.
I don't care. And that's the thing. No one would have expected Missy Higgins. That song probably gets played maybe once every 6 months there.
Yeah.
And when you play it, it's a rarity. Everyone's just like, oh, I haven't heard this in 15 years.
Yeah.
That's such a dick move.
Yeah. And I mean,
you're bombing, so I'm going to come help you right now. It's like, this isn't like a comedy act or something where I need help.
Yeah.
It's karaoke and I'm drunk. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Just have a laugh. Okay?
I don't need to be saved right now.
Just separate yourself from the situation and laugh at me from the back. I'd rather that than you come up and try and steal my 2.5 minutes of fame.
Yeah. And that's all I need. 2.5 minutes. Like, I wasn't even asking for a lot of songs that night. And this woman had to come and take my limelight. And I was like, God, the ego on you.
If you're listening to this podcast and you're that person.
If you're that girl,
it's on site. Watch out.
God, I wish I got a name. I wish I knew. I wish I could dox her right now.
Should have swapped socials, yeah.
Hey, have you heard of my podcast? I'm going to talk about what you just did on it next week.
Thanks for your socials. You're ruined, love.
Yeah. You consider yourself doxed. But I've never had a worse reception at Blues. Usually it's I tear the roof off it and it's Snoop Dogg, and if I say so myself.
That's your number one song. For
Absolutely.
karaoke, Drop It Like It's Hot.
Yours is Black Eyed Peas.
Mine's My Humps, and I don't know about you, but for me, it's like I've
so much fun.
I've danced to that song so many times. Like, I was at a wedding a couple of weeks ago. I think we were talking about it on one of the previous eps, but like people were queuing up songs, and I queued up my humps, and like I just got out there and just let my inner slut out. Like I get so weird with it. A lot of slut dropping,
It does get
a lot of
weird.
twerking, a lot of just like gyrating and just getting like real, like just my inner Fergie out.
Oh yeah.
And then, because like the more energy you've got, like the more of like a show you put on, you're going to get more laughs.
Oh yeah, you got to go all out.
100%.
Which you do.
Yeah, you can't just be like, mix my milk with my cocoa.
Oh, you have to go all. You were, for an example, like you wouldn't know it just from watching the show, but if you know Poopy outside of the show, you've seen him.
That's me, by the way.
Sorry, yeah.
My
you
mates,
know him outside of the show, then you understood what I just said.
my nickname is Poopy to my mates. To anyone who doesn't know me by Poopy.
If you know Jacob outside of the show,
Yes.
When you throw down, it's a lot to the eye, to the naked eye. It's a lot. And when you started doing this at Lefties the other night, me and Dan were just kind of chilling on the barrel. And again, we're kind of the spot that everyone can see. You just start grooving. And I saw like the Seki who was just down from us. He didn't say anything to you or like do anything.
But he was just looking.
He was just like, I'm aware of that guy because it just looks like you're about to do something fucked.
Jump off the balcony or something.
Yeah.
I was harmless.
Yeah. That's the thing. I know it's harmless. Everyone around you is like a bit on edge. Everyone who doesn't know is like, this guy could do anything.
If you see a 6'4" bloke flailing about the place like he's having a seizure, then it's like, oh, we've got cause for concern here.
Yeah. And 6 months ago, they would have been like, no dancing Jacob, which has happened in Lefties before. You've had to been told to just dial down your moves and you're like,
that was
having a good time.
During the exclusively sitting time in COVID when we were at Lefties again.
I love that even in dancing times, in non-footloose times, you still get Seki's looking at you going, he's dancing a bit too aggressively.
Sorry, I know that it's allowed, but I'm also going to give you a written warning.
You're not technically doing anything wrong, but I'm just quite aware that you're doing it.
Yeah, I think you've got a video of me, like I think it was Can't Stop by Red Hot Chili Peppers was playing. It was you, me, and Nick.
Yeah.
And we went to Lefties, and I was like, I'll go grab a drink. Gives me an opportunity to stretch my legs. And I was just, and it's like, you can stand at the bar, but I was just starting to just cut some shapes.
Yeah.
Just
you were towing the line of dancing, and it was kind of like all upper body. You weren't slut dropping.
I was moving my feet a little bit, like doing a little bit of a slide, and like Seki just comes up. He's like, mate, you can't be doing that. I'm like, is this literally the movie Footloose where the town is like banished dancing? What is going on here?
It's Footloose rules.
It's like, no, it's COVID. You just can't be dancing. I'm like, I'm standing at the fucking bar, moving my feet a little. Are you gonna go give a warning to the guy tapping his foot as well? Or
I'm as social distance as everyone else is. I'm as close to people standing here ordering a drink as I would be if I'm dancing.
yeah, come on. I'm just having a good time doing it.
What are these draconian rules?
Sorry that your drinks are delicious and they just give me that special juice.
Yeah, make less good drinks, bro. Talk to your bartender, not me. We also ended up at Lefties. Remember because they had popcorn there, free popcorn.
Oh,
Shout
that's
out
right.
Lefties, free popcorn.
Yeah, it's real free popcorn. The first cup we got on
Yeah,
Friday
all
night.
kernels.
It was all. It's a full bucket of popcorn. Like no one else is getting it, and she scooped it right down the bottom. And like we took the first couple pieces off, and it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is free.
Yeah.
But we just started trying to toss them into our mouths, doing the throw it up and try to catch it in your
I
mouth.
remember you like just pissed drunk, just like looking down the floor, like, oh, we've made a mess. There's like popcorn everywhere, and you're like trying to sweep it under the like near the barrel.
There was so much popcorn on the ground.
There was.
I was like, we fucked up. Sorry.
That's what vacuums are for.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Good night. Good time.
Great night. So go check out Lefties. Not a sponsor, but if you want to sponsor us, you can.
Also, Blutz. Go check it out.
No, I
6
think
months ago.
I think you've. I was going to say you've named and shamed that place. It's like, don't go there. Not only is there no longer the human interaction when you're requesting a song, if you go up there, there's a very good chance that you'll get booed if you're having a good time.
Yeah.
And not only that, someone's going to steal. It invites a crowd of people. Like I can't get over that. The etiquette of karaoke. Grow up. Sit down. You should have done it to her when her song came on.
It's karaoke. And also, another reason not to go there is they probably don't have the song that you want to sing.
Yeah.
There's a huge chance. And I asked at the bar, I was like, hey, you used to come here all the time, used to sing this song all the time. Now it's not available. What do I do? And he's like, that's it, dude. If it's not on the thing, you can't sing it. I'm like, I'm not going to come back.
Yeah.
I only come here to sing that song. You've just lost my business because you put a tablet in.
You done goofed up.
You done goofed.
It's not somewhere you'd go for a good night. But people who do know how to have a good night out is the people in our show this week. But before we do get onto the show, I believe we do have a review from our residential, verified #1 fan. It's the one and only part Australian, part Chinese.
It's smoked paprika.
He's back in the smoke.
Back in this free smoke, paps. 5 stars again. This is a review of the Friends episode, episode 27. Go and check it out. Another razor sharp analysis from OTAT. This time an episode of Friends. The discussion between Tom and Jake is far more interesting than the subject matter at hand. Huge praise. I never got into the sitcom personally, as I had a proper realistic life of mortgage and kids. All
right, Dad.
All right, flex. All right, the most dad
I
thing
had stuff to
you've ever
do, not bum around at uni and watch this shit when I should have been studying for exams.
I was miserable and paying a mortgage and raising 2 snot-nosed kids and jealous of all the 20-year-olds in the office. Grow up. Don't worry, Dad, I know.
I've heard it before.
I never got, vaguely remember a work colleague calling me Chandler. What sort of fucking name is that? Being named after a hanging light?
Chandelier, Chandler.
Yeah. Bit of a yoga stretch.
That's a big stretch there, Pat.
But I see what you've done. Glad I dodged a bullet and Friends had no impact. 5 stars again to OTAT.
You know what? Apart from the Bikram yoga stretch to say Chandler sounds like chandelier, thank you again, Smoked Paprika. And if you do enjoy the show, or even if you don't, if you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like and throw us a comment so we can give you a review or read your review next week.
Read your review out that you leave of us.
Yep. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review there, or just tell your mates about it.
Shout to your mates. Yeah, bump down. Have you ever seen a boat? Have you ever heard of a boat? Please, someone leave an Apple Podcast review to bump down. Have you ever heard of a boat? I can't look at it anymore.
Just get around the boys. Just get around it.
It's not that hard to get around the boys.
It's actually pretty simple. Much like The Simple Life, the show we watched this week.
The Simple Life.
The Simple Life. With
what a time.
Not The Sweet Life with Zach and Cody, not to be mistaken with that. It's
confused.
No, not at all. It's if you don't know what The Simple Life is, it stars 2 socialites of the early 2000s, semi-celebrities, some would say, Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton. And if you don't know who those people are, just Google Paris Hilton. You'll find some very interesting videos.
Depends what website you search, you type her name into.
Yeah, don't do it at work because the website might be blocked. But so basically the show...
Is that where she got her start? Was it a porn? Was it a sex tape?
So, yeah. Basically, if you don't know who Paris and Nicole are, Paris Hilton is an American media personality, socialite, businesswoman, model, singer, actress, and DJ. She's the great-granddaughter of Conrad Hilton, the founder of the Hilton Hotel. So, basically... the daughter of a very, very rich family. And Nicole Richie is just one of her comrades from the same sort of social circle.
One of her buds.
Yeah, really, really rich, wealthy white chicks, basically.
Yeah.
But they started this show back in 2003 called The Simple Life, where Paris and Nicole move in with the Ledding family in the small town of Altus, Arkansas. They learn how to live with a middle-class family and adapt to the new environment. So it goes beyond anything like Tom was like a little bit apprehensive when I brought it up to suggest it as a show to watch.
Yeah, Jacob definitely led the charge on this one.
Yeah, I took point on this. No shame there. But it goes beyond you keeping up with Kardashians or any show, Real Housewives or anything like that, where it's just these people living their everyday life. It actually takes Paris and Nicole out of their usual life.
Their bouginess.
Their bouginess of shopping, partying, more shopping and more partying.
Chihuahuas, pink handbags, Gucci.
Where they go into the strong South Midwest of America and just live the simple life.
Simple life.
For 30 days.
A couple of get her dones out there.
Some real get her dones.
Some real get her done attitude is what they should have, is what they're asked to adapt, a get her done attitude. And it's not always the attitude that they do adapt.
They do get her done, but not the done that we wanted to get.
No, not the traditional done way. Not traditional at all. But it is good. I mean, it's good that it at least has a concept. It's like basically the show is Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton, and let's watch them be trash on screen for half an hour.
Yeah,
it's like at least they've thrown a plot onto it of like put them in a farm.
Two pretty simple, entitled rich people who just go live the common man's life they do it for 30 days. If you do want to watch along, it's season 1, episode 3. You can actually catch 4 seasons of this bad boy of a show on 7+. They're on day 7 of 30, living with the Ledding family in Arkansas. We're going to break out some pretty debaucherous accents this episode.
Cannot wait. Stick around for that.
The show starts basically with them out at a nightclub, just getting buck wild there, like lifting their skirts up, twerking. Nicole's like making out with like 6 different dudes. Like, I love making out with people.
Yeah, just the most like 90s Frosted Tips dude. Oh, like it would be in early 2000s Frosted Tips dudes.
Shitty polo.
Yeah, the polos with the collars up.
It was probably just on the cusp of like, just as like Jersey Shore is blowing up. So this is the Midwest or like the South, so not quite Jersey Shore, like fake tan, slicked back hair, but Frosted Tips and the popped collar on a polo.
Yeah, very hot. Yeah, one guy's in like a baggy Hawaiian shirt
with his like baseball cap on backwards.
Yeah, with his bro cap backwards, and like Nicole's loving all of it. Richie is hooking up with everyone.
Yeah,
and Paris is kind of just like doing her thing, dancing on her own. Being admired from afar and her admiring other guys from afar as well. But you never see her actually make out with anyone.
No, she keeps it pretty tame for the most part, apart from getting her ass out.
Yeah, which I think not blurred either. You see,
it's pretty blurred.
Was it a bit? Okay,
it's definitely like I didn't actually see her ass. I just saw the blur line come up.
Right. I thought. Yeah, I was like, that's either like granular underpants or they've censored it.
Holy shit! This is
a digital.
Some
blur.
great technology. You got some 64-bit Grundies on.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Where can I get a pair of those? Fucking Nintendo 64 G-string.
Oh, retro. Retro jocks, that's all right.
I know this show's old, but good God.
There's a market there. And then, so that's kind of the hook, because we start there and we go, and the narration is like,
well,
this is the girls having a good time. But before that happened,
48 hours beforehand.
Yeah, and then it's like back at the ranch.
Yeah.
With the Ledding family.
That's right, yep. So they go into their first project or activity on day 7 of 30 that they were out there in Arkansas, and they go to a quilt making class, and it's just a bunch of like 70, 80-year-old women, 60 to 80, and they're all making quilts, talking about, oh, my grandson's just joined the army.
Yeah, real very old women just doing their thing.
Simple country folk.
Living the simple life.
Yep.
And the girls come in, both looking like they need a bit of a shower.
Oh, we were talking about like, why do they just look like it's, I don't want to say dirty, but they did just look like they had a massive party, rolled out of the dirt, and then just rolled into their next thing. Because
it's like, is it fake tan on you or a layer of grime?
They had like 16 layers of Bondi sands on, the sandy blonde hair, but it was just looked like it hadn't been washed in months.
Yeah, it's that real like long bleach blonde, like greasy hair.
It was definitely an aesthetic on early 2000s, and that's why a lot of people talk about, not that exact reason, but one of the reasons they talk about early 2000s being like a bad time in human fashion. Just like
and hygiene.
Yeah, you've got like Justin Timberlake's NSYNC with the ramen hair and the puffer jackets and wheelies and like really, really flared jeans. I'm trying to remember the name, but there was like those giant jeans where they were just like taken to the absolute
like
extreme.
Flares, but like from the knee down.
From like they were massive. Like they'd cover your whole foot
down.
Like they were massive. There was just like huge cylinders around your feet.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But then along with that, you've got Von Dutch trucker hats and bedazzled pink handbags.
Paris has got that like baggy denim hat. It's like almost like one of the an old man hat that you wear to the bowls, it's like a baggy denim hat with sequins and like badges on it.
It's like an industrial era factory hat.
Yeah.
But it's denim and it's giant and it's covered in Diamantes and Von Dutch.
Yeah, and Von Dutch. So you can imagine, Patricia's reaction when these two walk in and she's making a quilt and they're like, what do you guys, you guys should do this but make it edgier.
Yep. They're like, have you ever thought about doing a quilt that's not like, and that's Paris. If you haven't heard Paris in a while, her voice is literally like this. Like I was surprised at how high pitched and squeaky it was.
Yeah, she sounds like she just sucked down a helium balloon.
Mm-hmm. Sucked down something for sure. But yeah, they say to the women, they're like, this is just kind of boring. Like, do you have to do squares on the quilt? Maybe you could put some cigarette burns in it to make it edgy. And they're like, we're going to sell these to people. So we're going to sell these quilts. So we're probably not going to put cigarette burns in them, ladies.
The people that are buying these quilts aren't looking for cigarette burns.
What if you just painted on them like graffiti? And like one of the women's just like, no, shut up.
She's like, that's a bad suggestion, and y'all can leave if you think that's good.
Have you guys got any like hot sons? And they're like, we got some handsome grandsons. Like, tell them we're here. We're ready to party.
Yeah, we're here for a week. And then as they're walking out, it's like, God, imagine saying this to your grandmother or your grandmother's friends, just a woman of your grandmother's age. She's like, we're here a week, we're bored, and we're horny. And they're all just like, oh.
And like I'm sure that the grand maternal mentality would just be like, I'm keeping my fucking sons away from you.
Yeah, you are not the type of girl I'm looking to bring into the family.
You need a shower and an STI test.
Yeah. Remember there was like a Family Guy joke about when Peter meets Gwen Stefani back in the day and she's like singing in the booth. Or he's like, that was funny than the time that I was Gwen Stefani's manager.
Yeah, okay.
And then Gwen Stefani's like, ha, like singing in the booth. She's like, ha, and doing that hand thing where she's like, the hand is the
It's
note.
the pitch. Del re mi.
Yeah. And then Peter comes in, he's like, okay, you're doing this thing a lot with your hands and I don't fucking like it. You sound like shit and you look like you need a shower. He's like, you look like you haven't bathed in 8 days.
Just rinses her.
Yeah, she's got that long, like Gwen Stefani, Paris Hilton, greasy blonde hair.
It was a very strong aesthetic. Christina Aguilera was definitely part of that vibe.
I think that's actually who it is, not Gwen Stefani. I think it's a Christina Aguilera.
Okay, yeah. Because if you remember like her Fighter music video.
I'm a fella, I'm a
fighter.
Yeah.
Gonna fight up and up.
Yeah. She boxes the camera a bit in that.
Yeah, but if you know what I'm talking about, that's the hair that Paris and Nicole were rocking. Yes. Just like look like they'd been training in the ring for 6 hours, real sweaty.
Yeah. And they wake up in the morning looking like P. Diddy.
What? Too much Bondi Sands.
Yeah. Wake up in the morning doing blackface. Is that how that song goes?
Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
Not looking like, feeling like.
I think it's
feeling like.
Yeah.
Anyway, they wake up in the morning at the Ledging family.
The Ledding family.
The Ledding family. And she's just gotten out of the shower and I'm like, it looks even worse when it's wet. Not to harp on her hair, but it's a lot when you wake up at 5:30 in the morning for a shift at Sonic Burgers.
Yeah, so they had that first day of the activity. Now, I don't know if that was a job, but like they weren't invited back to make quilts after their cigarette burn and graffiti
suggestions
and their sexual advances on the old women's family.
Yeah.
But then they had their first day on the real job at Sonic Burger, which is basically like a lower key Hungry Jack's. They've got like this. I think I know this just because I've watched so many like basketball games recently where they've had Sonic ads, but
so it's definitely a real burger chain.
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
I was thinking this when watching the show. It's definitely blown up a lot since I think it was in 2003. But they're one of their main things is that it's a drive-in place. When you go to order, if you want to go sit in your car, wait for the food. The
girls bring it out.
The girls bring it out, but they're usually on roller skates.
Yeah. They tried it. Paris got the skates on for a second.
Yep, and just trying to balance her food. She did well, like skating, but then like trying to balance her food, and then like
is that so? That's a real thing still in America in 2021. Like girls coming out with rollerblades and like you sit in your car,
guys or girls. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. It's definitely a thing, and they've like it's. I think it's like actually like a thing that's been going on since like the 1940s or 50s when burgers were first established, where you could sit in your car instead of going into the store and someone would bring it out on roller skates and then have like the paper hat.
Yeah,
and like
that American Graffiti vibe of like, and the cars are all long. That's American Graffiti is a film. Okay. But it's like that aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like, and you hang out and it's like going to the drive-in movies, but it's like the drive-in diner.
There was a particular, like they had trays that had like these underarms on it where you could actually hook it onto the car window. So you have your tray latched onto the car.
Real experience.
Yeah, it's
only America could come up with something like that.
Pretty innovative. I'm not mad about it, but I'm also not like if I'm staying in my car while I'm getting my food, I'm driving home to eat it. I'm not eating it in my car like a sad person.
But that's the experience. And then you look over at the car next to you and it's like, how you liking your $2 burger, bruh?
Yeah. So you've heard of drive-in movies. What about drive-in onion rings?
Yeah. Genius. You son of a bitch.
God damn it, Don. You've done it again. So their first day on the job, they turn up 45 minutes late. And like the managers, they're like, "Morning, ladies. Did you sleep in?" And they were just like, "No." Oh, because you're 45 minutes late.
It's like, well, you're late. So what's your reason? They're just like, we decided to be here at this time.
Yeah, just we could buy this place if we wanted to. Just get on the phone to my dad and I'll buy it.
Yeah, they couldn't really give a fuck, could they?
No, they have a very much a toddler DGAF attitude throughout the show where I'm just going to do what I want. You can tell me what to do and I'll half-ass it for 30 seconds and then I'm going to do what I want until you catch me in the act and move me on to something else.
I mean, the whole premise of the show kind of relies on them not doing what they're told.
It'd be boring if they were just trying to scrub dishes the whole day.
They were just doing their job because they put the girls on onion ring duty at one point, which is just putting one onion ring into
a conveyor belt
that leads into a deep fryer.
It's the batter.
The batter, and then it comes out the bottom covered in batter, and then they put it in the deep fryer.
Correct. Yeah.
So all they have to do is put one, like, separate an onion ring from the rest of the onion, put it on the conveyor belt. Very tedious job, monotonous. Of course, they don't just do that for 40 minutes because that's not good content. So Nicole Richie just starts like piling onions on.
Yep, just shoving them in there.
Shoving them in, breaks the machine. And as Paris is just like, giggling, and it's like, here we go.
Yeah. There's literally like the last shot of Nicole Richie battering the onion rings is like before it goes to a commercial break, as it looks down at the bucket and there's just half an onion. And you can see the separated rings, but they're all together, just covered in like a thin layer of tempura.
Yeah. And she's just like, and then the woman comes over and tells her off. She's like, I told you to separate these.
It's taking too long. It's like, well, it's going to take longer because you're going to have to do it again.
Yeah. I feel bad for because I don't think they're actors or plants, the manager.
No, they're real people.
They're definitely real people. Yeah. You can just tell they're not acting. So we were talking about this, like, obviously, Sonic has a massive feature in The Simple Life, and they get that exposure. But like for the day, they literally have to look after a couple of babies, a couple of toddlers who just fuck everything up.
Yeah.
So like,
you're trying to give them responsibility, and you just realize it's high risk, low reward, basically.
Yeah. And we were saying like in real life, they would just be fired. Obviously.
Yeah.
Like that, it would just be like, go home, you're a piece of shit. Because they're not just being bad at their jobs or like just like passively lazy. They're like actively fucking shit up.
And then laughing in the manager's face when they fuck up. Like if warning sign 1 wasn't them turning up 45 minutes late, it was them getting all like their orientation documents. It's like, all right, well, this is the Sonic policy you've got to read. This is a Sonic policy you got to read if you're going to work here. This is the employee form that you fill out to give us all your details. And this is your tax form. So you can file for taxes. And they're just like, what's that?
Yeah. She's like, you can decide how much you want to claim back on tax.
She's like, what's that? She's like, taxes? Like, yeah. And like the manager's just like, bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. And they put in a couple of sound effects on the thing where they're like,
yeah,
go. Yeah, it's the girl's just like dopey eye. Like, what's taxes? It's like, great.
Sure, and like it's like you surely know what taxes are.
Yeah, so a lot of it we were like, okay, they're leaning into how dumb they are. Pretty sure you've heard of what tax is.
And at this point, we were just kind of like, oh, this is just this is kind of annoying. Like, you're kind of annoying. It's not really entertaining.
Yeah.
And then they were asked to change the marquee sign outside.
This is where they got the boys on side.
This is where this turned in from a shit show to, hey, this is pretty good.
Like, not bad. I can get around this bit. There's the big sign out the front of Sonic Burger where they put up, half price burgers all day.
Yep.
Something like that. Come on in. We've got the new fucking double bacon burger.
You think about like any high school or church where they've got you just put up the big letters. It's not like a digital one.
Yep.
It's one where you manually change out the letters and spell something out.
Yeah, Lefties musical. Good example.
Very much so.
Out the front.
Yep.
So their job is to get up there and change whatever it was at the time to half price burgers all day. So naturally, the girls are left to their own devices. With the ladder as well, risk assessment could have fallen down.
The ladder did not look stable at all.
Wouldn't trust Paris Hilton with letters for a sign, let alone a ladder.
Yeah, it was something she could just die on.
It's okay. Nicole Richie's spotting her. Sure, it's safe.
All 13 pounds of her soaking wet.
Yeah. We've got our best men on the job. Women. They change it from whatever it was to it's meant to be half price burgers. They change it to
salty anal wiener burgers, but they spell burgers B-U-G-R-S, so it's salty anal wiener burgers.
Yeah, weenie buggers.
Weenie buggers.
Weenie buggers. Salty anal weenie buggers. And half price salty anal
That's
weenie
right.
buggers.
Yeah.
So the deal still applies. It's just not to...
It's not burgers. You get some salty anal wiener burgers.
Do you think that they just had like the whole alphabet and they played a bit of Scrabble and they were like, what ridiculous shit can we say with the letters that we have? Because like, I don't think they set out to say salty anal weenie burgers. I think they were the letters that they had at their disposal and they were like, guess we're going with anal and salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either that or the producer was like, this is what you're going to spell out. I've got some extra letters for you.
Here's an L and an N.
Just playing devilish composer behind the camera.
Pulling the strings.
Good.
It's the fucking cops drive past. Like,
whoop.
Yeah, whoop, whoop. They got some reactions of some of the, where's this set? Tennessee?
Arkansas.
Some Arkansasians driving past. Arkansas.
It's got an S on the end.
I can side this shit. So.
Hey.
And yeah, there's some people who are driving past who are like, holy fucking shit. Anal salty weenie burgers.
Honk.
Yeah.
Real honk if you're horny situation.
Yeah. And then,
I thought I was hungry. Now I just want sex.
And then the manager comes out, sees it. She like can't even help laughing herself. She's like, oh.
Yeah, it's one of those she just had to cover her mouth like, this is rude, but it's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, and then she has to get mad at them. And she's like, girls, bring the fucking ladder back because they try to hide the ladder so that they can't get up and change it.
Running away from the restaurant with the ladder and they're like, let's go hide this behind a tree. And the manager comes out, she's like, what are you doing? Bring it back. I need to see what you've done.
Yeah.
Looks around and is like, oh, that's pretty good, but it's not what we're selling. We don't have salty wieners.
We don't have anal salty wieners. We have burgers. We have half price burgers.
Half price.
I like that you still put the price up, but the product is wrong. I don't want people coming in for half price anal salt.
Energy's great. Execution, a little bit left to be desired.
Yeah, a little bit to be desired.
Their punishment for pulling a fast one on the marquee.
On the sign.
Yep. It was like, girls, I give you this responsibility to put the sign out and you just can't do it. So now we're going to get you to get in these costumes. And it's these giant milkshake mascot costumes where they've got to stand outside, much like someone who like spinning an arrow to like, hey, selling used cars
burgers in here. Yeah. So they dress up as the milkshakes and they're supposed to hold balloons for the kids to be like, hey, come on in for a fucking
Sonic burger,
anal salty burger. But they just go out on the road and just start flipping everyone off.
Just flipping the bird at people, just like, coming to Sonic burger.
2 milkshakes on the side of the road, just fucking pixelated.
I mean, I'd get a burger from there and be like, oh, righto.
The same pixel material from Paris Hilton's underwear is on their gloves. Yeah. It's just fucking grainy fingers in the air.
At first I was like, what is she doing with flipping the bird? That's what they need to pixelate.
I love how that's a thing that they pixelate on air.
Yeah.
Like on television. It's like, it's not a fuck or a shit or anything. It's like a symbol is worth pixelating.
I think it's because it's considered a G-rated show that they needed to blur it out. Like anything that's like, you can be horrible role models. You can do whatever you want at a job that would get you fired in a second. You can act a fool at the club. Just don't go giving people something that's the one finger out of 5 that's considered rude.
Yeah, the one rude symbol that you can do to someone without saying words.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So do you censor this? Do you censor you putting your, how do I describe this for people listening at home?
So yeah, chopping down on your arm as you're like putting your fist up.
Yeah, kind of raising your forearm at someone.
As if you're going to like pop the middle finger.
Putting your hand on your bicep.
Real elementary way of flipping someone off.
It's kind of like bro college shit as well. You know this?
Yeah. Up yours, man.
Or like this. Remember like swiping your neck and like under your chin at someone and going...
That's a thing.
Where did that come from?
That's still strong in the Italian community.
Yeah, it seems Italian. It seems very mob.
I think it's
fuck you.
I think
buddy.
it's actually signed for fuck you.
Oh, is it deaf person for fuck you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Fuck you, dude. Such a funny word.
There's so much gusto in that.
The other one is this. Fuck you. That's the most like bro-y.
Or the British one, the forks.
Yeah, the peace sign but turned around.
Oopsies, one fell down.
Yep.
You know how that came about?
It means like fuck you. No, I don't know how.
I think it was so it's bigger in like the British culture. Going on a little history lesson right now.
Hysterectomy lesson.
Yeah, but it's basically back when England and France were battling it out in the medieval era. That's what I think the French were well known for their archers pulling back strings. So like whenever they'd capture soldiers in a war, the British would chop off their 2 fingers so they couldn't arch anymore unless you're trying to
pinky and
ring finger
arch, the weakest bow ever.
Yeah, so basically the British was saying like, we've got your fingers, mate.
Yeah, right. I've got these too.
Yeah.
Is that the only fingers that you use to hold back? Is that how Legolas does it?
Traditionally, yeah.
Just your two deuces.
Yeah, unless you want to be like a contortionist and do like one of those things on. So you think you've got. See, what is it? America's.
So you think you can dance?
No, what's the talent one?
Oh, America's Got Talent.
America's Got Talent. You've seen that one where the chick does like a handstand and she like shoots a bow with like her feet?
No, I have. Oh, yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah, you've seen the image.
Fucked. I have seen the image of that.
That's just
iconic.
That's a level of athleticism, dexterity,
so
and
she's using her toes.
Yeah, and hitting a bullseye.
I bet she's using her main 2 toes.
The British are like, oh, I guess we have to. I guess 2 little piggies aren't making it home for dinner.
We're chopping off fingers and toes. That's the English's. That's the French's answer to getting their fingers chopped off. They're like, oh, we'll just use our toes.
Yes, but I don't think they have to censor that or censor the arm over one arm over the other's like elbow and then putting the fist up. I don't think that has to be.
I think that's all fair play.
Yep.
It's just your middle finger being put up.
Definitely the rudest one. Remember people saying like the Chinese rude finger is like
the pinky in primary school. Fuck you, kids going around doing that. Just holding.
I'm giving you the Chinese rude finger.
Yeah, it's like all right.
Get them started early on racism and stereotypes. Do it to a Chinese kid. He's like, hey.
Yeah, I was born here, bro. I'm as Aussie as you.
I don't understand.
You get it? Yeah. This isn't rude to me, only for one country.
Yeah. It's like, nah, dude. Just give me the real one. Give me the traditional rude.
But they did censor out the rude fingers, and it's the one time they were sending out on the road for a good 20 to 30 minutes, and it's the one time you'll hear Paris say her famous line, "That's so hard," but not in a good way. It was like, we're so hot, these costumes we're gonna get heat stroke.
Yeah, they were struggling.
So they decide to like, bar this.
Yeah,
we're just gonna run across the road to like the Woolies, basically the equivalent, the supermarket, and they just ran inside and started just jumping on each other in like one of the aisles. And the manager just realized they weren't there, found them in the supermarket, was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, they just started wrestling in the middle of an aisle. They were like literally had to pick them up and like drag them back like a 10-year-old and be like, all right, where are your gloves? Did you leave them out on the road? Like the suits are filthy. Come, like, let's go.
That's coming out of your pay.
Yeah, it's coming out of your pay. Let's get back to work.
And they were meant to start at 6:30, 45 minutes late. So they started at 7:15, 7:30, and they're like having their break. And they're like, is it close to, they're meant to do 7 till 3, so a full 8 hours. And they're like, is it close to 3 yet? And one of the girls is just like, not even close. It's 11:30. No, she's like, it's not even 10 o'clock yet.
It's 9:50 a.m.
So they got the sign fucked up. They ruined the onion ring machine, and they just like basically beelined it. They went AWOL in the mascot costumes, all in the space of like 2 hours.
Yeah, busy morning.
But they did make it to the end of their shift, and they got their checks for $57 for 7 hours of work.
$56.
$56
for 7 hours work.
It's tough. That's that minimum wage. Like, thank God we live in a country where we pay our hospitality people well.
Yeah, they get fucking pittance. And it's like they didn't deserve much more than that for that shift. But it's like you're making the same amount as someone who's actually doing their job properly on that fucking...
Yeah, absolutely. You feel sorry for the people actually doing their job for 8 hours and they come home barely scraping $60.
It's so little. But I mean, inflation maybe, like back then.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's still $7 in 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. And
then
they wouldn't get tips.
You do get tips in the hospitality, in like fast food.
But they're not waiting. Oh, they're going out on roller skates, so they would get tips.
It depends if like how you're feeling. Like people were getting full family meals for like $4, $5, so they may have wanted to tip them. Like $4.50, take them 50 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean the person on the counter, you're not getting tips there.
No, not unless you're like having a very good day and you like keep the change.
Yeah, the person on the onion ring machine.
Probably not.
They're not getting tips.
No, the person taking all the calls through the microphone.
No tips there.
And they got their checks and she's like, here's your checks. And she's like, what are we meant to do with this? Yeah. And she's like, you can go cash it. She's like, what? Where? At the bank. It was like,
and there's like those sound effects.
Go.
Yeah. Yeah, just like these girls are literally
stupid. You thought we were stupid in Arkansas.
Yeah. But then they go home that night and it's like, all right, we've had a big long day's work. We've had a long 7 hours of just ruining people's lives and fucking shit up.
And then getting a lecture when they get home from like the dad of the family who went to Sonic. Was like, so how'd the girls do? And they're like, they were an embarrassment.
Yeah. You want to see what they wrote on the sign? Anal sweaty gland burgers or whatever the fuck.
We don't have that kind of meat.
We had people coming and asking for anal sweaty gland burgers. We got hamburgers. And he's like, oh God, okay, I guess I'll talk to the fucking girls.
I'll give him a lecture.
And he sits them down and they're like, you're reflecting poorly on me. This is a small town and everyone knows everyone.
Population of 800.
Yeah. You're a reflection of me. And they're like, oh, we didn't mean to ruin your reputation as a leading.
And he's just like, there's no like reconciliation. He's just sitting there in his rocking chair just like,
Yeah, you can tell there was no real like bow on that conversation.
No.
There was no apology really.
It wasn't our intention to make you look bad.
Yeah, it's like, you did. And then they just cut to the chihuahua and it's like, okay. Yeah, I guess that scene's over.
Yep. And
I guess there's some resolution there.
And to as you were alluding to just before, to wrap up a very tough day, to go splash their cash of $56.
To the club.
They went to the club.
Apparently there's a club in this small...
In Altoona, Arkansas, population
of 800.
Which surely they said it like, because it was like it wasn't just a bar. It was a dark room which had a strobe light, strippers poles. They must have gone to town over or something.
It looked like there were 800 people just in this fucking club.
Yeah,
the entire town squeezed into the club to see the Simple Life girls show up.
To see Paris and Joel Madden's wife.
Yeah, to see Paris gyrate on the pole.
I mean, I'd pay for it.
So they go there and they throw down. Like they've never thrown down before.
Yeah, they get real freaky with it.
Yeah, and it's like the structure of the episode is like, all right, this is what you were waiting for. This is how we hooked you at the start. A real like Pulp Fiction non-linear timeline.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? We're going to start at the end and then rewind it back, and then we're just going to jump all over the place, have absolute chaos. But don't worry, it all comes through in the end.
Yeah, this is masterful filmmaking. Don't you worry. These guys, the director of this went to film school.
Yeah, the producer just like thinking he's Tarantino. He's like, all right, so first we're going to start at the nightclub, and then we're going to go back 48 hours, and then we're going to do a shit show at Sonic, and then we're going to have the quilts, and then
I didn't study film. I didn't go to film school. I went to films. Okay, so. This is my show.
I didn't drop out of community college to not have a successful cinematic show.
I worked at Blockbuster, and now I work on The Simple Life. And just because these girls are socialites doesn't mean they're not artists.
These are my thespians. They are my muse.
High art.
I don't know why Ben Shapiro is producing the show.
Yes, Tarantino has a lot of Shapiro in him.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
They are cut from the same cloth, if not brothers.
There's some overlap of what's going on in their brain there.
Fucking whatever spectrum they're both on, it's the same one.
They're off the deep end.
Yeah. Watch as they dive in.
But yeah, Nicole Richie just starts making out with every dude that she can see. Paris Hilton's just hiking her dress up, and like there's people at the club are just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Who brought these city girls in here?
Is this how they party in NYC?
I know we all signed a contract to let these girls come in, but I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Everyone act surprised.
Yep.
Everyone act like you're not paid to be here, okay?
Everyone acts surprised except the one guy that like Nicole Richie's just playing tongue hockey with, and she's like, I love making out. And he's just in the background, just like big thumbs up, like, yeah.
Yeah, she like makes out with him, then takes off, and then the camera just stays on him and goes real low angle, and he's like, just 2 rock signs to the camera.
Woo!
I just made out with Nicole Richie.
This is way better than listening to Creed in my pickup truck.
Which we will be doing later. Yeah, insanity in the club.
Yeah.
Nothing else really happens in there. They just kind of have a bit of a dance and then
They just get weird with it.
shake their ass. And
They get a cab ride home. They like sneak into the house. I'm gonna be real quiet.
Yeah.
And then they crawl into bed. They're like, I love you. And then a fly wakes them up. And they're like, ah! Like screaming as loud as possible. Nicole Richie gets out of bed with a fly swat and starts banging against the wall. Paris is just like clapping, loving it. Like,
what is going on? How is this television? It's like the Big Brother house. It's just night vision of nothing happening.
Yeah.
Swatting a fly at 1 a.m. One like half week going,
really having to scrape the bottom of the barrel to make that 21 minutes of the show.
bruh.
And then tune in next week for Paris and Nicole to make it to the bake sale where they feed a dog an apple pie.
It's like, how is this so popular?
It wasn't, 55 episodes, so it wasn't the most popular, but they're able to get 4 seasons out of it. So I imagine they spend 30 days in one town, then 30 days in another town. Like they do different parts of America over like a 4 to 5 month span, or maybe like broken up over a few years. Yeah, because it went from 2003 to 2007. So they would have done 30 days a year in some,
With the same family in each town?
No. So they
different family
it'd
each
be a
time.
different family or community that they stay with, where they in the middle of buttfuck nowhere.
Yeah, okay. And I suppose that would shake it up a little bit. Yeah, as a concept, it's fine.
Yep.
It works as a show.
We had fun watching it.
We had a bit of fun watching it. I can see myself in like high school going like, this is entertaining enough.
Yeah.
It was a very high school content.
So what would you rate The Simple Life, Tom?
Look, I'm going to give The Simple Life with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie 3.
3 out of 10.
Yeah, 3.
3 what?
I'm going to give it 3 rollerbladed. No, I'm going to give it 3 anal sweaty gland burgers out of 10.
Excellent. Very good. Yep.
I've misquoted the thing that we watched 10 minutes ago.
Half price salty anal wiener burgers.
There we go. 3 of those, please.
3 of those. So what? 1.5.
It's like, yeah.
Or the price for 1.5, you get 3.
Yeah. Should get 6.
That's fair.
What would you give it?
For a simple show about 2 simple rich people living it up in a simple town, I had a good laugh in it. So I would give it 6 cigarette burnt quilts out of 10.
Fuck yeah.
That's actually the first time we've had quite a gap. Usually we're hovering around 1.5, maybe 1 in rating. Like we're pretty in unison of how we feel about a show, whether it's good or bad. But 3 out of 10 is
You're
just
double mine.
Yeah, you're
rating.
giving it like holy moly level of rating.
Yeah. Okay. Look, you're right. Will I change my rating? Maybe I'll bump it up to a 4.
You don't have to.
Okay.
I mean, I know I'm lobbying for it.
Yeah, no, but like because you're making a good point. That's why.
It's entertaining, and I think if it was like a 30-minute or 40-minute show, I'd be like, I'm over this. This sucks.
It was
But
20 minutes.
there was some pivotal points, especially the half-price salty anal wiener burgers, where I was just like, that's funny.
You're right. That's worth more than a 3. So was a couple of milkshakes on the side of the road flipping kids off in the car. That's a good bit.
Excellent bit.
That's worth a 4.
Yeah, but like
I'm going to bump it up to a 4.
The reason it doesn't go any higher, maybe 5 is a bit more reasonable. The reason it doesn't go any higher is just like, I hate this sort of person. Like,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So wouldn't want to be around them for any longer than 20 minutes at a time, which is good because that's how long the episode is. Just makes you feel bad for the shift manager at Sonic who has to go home and care for like 3 kids on a minimum wage and then look after a couple of fucking children at work as well.
Hopefully, since that's happened and like that episode aired, like things just blew up at Sonic and they got to increase wages, but that might be wishful thinking.
I'd say some people got rich at Sonic, and then the people down the bottom stayed.
Yeah,
People down the bottom.
You're doing a really good job as a middle manager. We're going to keep you where you are on the same wage. Increased hours, but same wage? Yeah.
Yep, sounds good. I'll raise my salary by 400K. We got great exposure from that episode, and you did the hard work and put up with the girls, and we're on camera.
Half price burgers, but double the profit.
Hey. And we're adding anal salty wiener burgers to the menu.
I'm hungry now. If you do want to watch that episode, again, it's on 7+, The Simple Life. It's season 1, episode 3. If you have made it this far, thank you so much for joining us on the air tonight. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, throw us a comment if you do want to review the show, and we'll read you out on one of the following weeks. If you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts, again, give us a review. Show your mates, show your mum, show your dad.
Show your dog.
Show your dog. They'll love it.
Dogs are big fans of OTAT.
They're barking all night. They give it a K9 out of 10.
Yes, they do. And that's about all, folks.
Bye-bye.
Can't nail an outro to save our lives. We've gone Looney Tunes.
You hit the intro, but